What is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, and my co-hosts are running late today. So, chat, I need you. I figure we just jump on here rather than everyone just sit here and looking at a blank screen. I'm waiting for them. You're waiting for them, and we're going to do the full breakdowns when they do get in here. Oh my gosh, and my cat is taking away my mic. What a great start we're getting off to on a beautiful Friday. But it's been a great time here at Run Pure Bets. We're pretty happy about the playbook. Last night, every game that I gave an RPB grade to on the NBA Playbook Cash. So we're looking to have some of that same success. So, hey, chat, help me out here while we're waiting for these guys. Let's throw some stuff in here to talk about. And, of course, we will be talking touchdowns. It's a fun one, man. We're going to start real early Sunday morning. Well, for you guys, it's not that early on the East Coast, right? 9:30. But for us, 6:30 a.m. The first ever game in Germany. And I think this is it's a lot of fun to figure out how this is going to impact the teams. One of the fun talking points I've heard about is, hey, you think Seattle has to fly so much farther, right? Because Tampa's on the East Coast and Seattle's on the West Coast, but they're so much closer to the North Pole. The flight's about the same, which is pretty cool. And it kind of reminds me, I actually I've flown to England out of San Francisco, and it's the same deal. You fly north for the first 2 or 3 hours, then you pop up at the top. So sorry, Kyrie Irving, the earth is not flat. Check the way that these flights run. So it's going to be an interesting game here. Tom Brady with that huge comeback against the Rams. You have to wonder, if they lose that game, what do we think this line is? What do we think this line is if Tom Brady and those guys didn't pull that comeback out? Seattle, one of the main concerns here is this team might be a little bit overvalued, right? They've exceeded expectations all year. And I know JJ's not with us today, but one thing that I always comment on, that he preaches, that I completely bought into, is when you're playing these sports betting markets, you want to buy low and sell high. We have to wonder, are we buying a little high on Seattle? But I'll tell you what, I love the Seattle team. You have to love Kenneth Walker Jr. as running back, and for me, I like my tough guy coaches, my teacher coaches, right? I like Pete Carroll, I like Mike Vrabel, like Mike Tomlin. Pete Carroll teaching these guys. Look how many rookies they have starting on defense, and this team is still getting it done. Thank you, Mr. Jerker19 says it's like the button. Hey guys, I'm going solo here till my partners arrive. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're heading over to runpuresports.com. Logan May, our guy in the chat, says Brady is still dusted and needs to retire. So how many times have we said that about Tom, though, right? How many times have we said that about Tom? But you have a great point, right? On those New England offenses back in the day when he was in his prime, felt like he was carrying it with some average receivers. And the reason he went to Tampa was for all the weapons, right? They had a great offensive line, and they had great weapons on the outside. The offensive line has been in shambles. So that's been a big issue. And some of these guys, we talked about Brady getting older, Mike Evans too. Not the same guy that he once was. And hopefully these guys can get it back, because they're fun to root for from a betting and a daily fantasy perspective. But we simply haven't seen it this season. And you have to wonder how much Tom Brady misses Rob Gronkowski. That safety valve in the red zone has not been there for the Buccaneers. And, that's an issue they're having. Let me make sure these guys, I sent them the right link. All right. Yeah, I'm fired up without you. Tyler's going to check the link, and he will be out there. Otter on the over. What's up, Otter? A friend of the show, friend of the program, always in the chats here. And of course, you can find him in the Run Pure Bets Discord. He says, when the video started, was that some mafia music? You're really buying into the serial killer thing. Yeah, I do enjoy some jazz music while I'm working. I forgot to turn it off, and I forgot to run the Run Pure Bets intro, right? Not having my partners threw me off, right? Now I know how Brady feels without Gronkowski. Tyler's my Gronkowski. I rely on him in the red zone, but those guys will be here shortly. We will find out what Kurt is up to. Kurt will be with us shortly. He sent me a message saying he's about 15 minutes late, but I figure why stare at a blank screen? I can hang out with you guys in the chat. Logan says that Brady needs to stop. What do you guys think? Is this his last year? Do you think he hangs it up? Do you think he regrets not retiring already with the way that this season's turned out? I'll tell you what, this guy's so stubborn. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they try and retool and for him to keep playing, or if he were to force his way to another team. You know that Tom Brady grew up in Northern California, and there's a team that, despite all the winning, doesn't like their quarterback, and you know who I'm talking about up there. And we'll be talking about that game tonight. That's a Sunday night football game. Pretty interesting situation. Yeah, Logan says no, he's fine without Gronk. He's got a new white tight end, right? Yeah. So you know, hey, well, I'm not even gonna make any Aaron Hernandez references. I'll let you guys do that. No wife anymore. Yeah, but hey, people have reconciled before, right? Maybe if he hangs it up, they can work things out. So that's an interesting situation. Now I'm going to keep talking about this game a little bit until my partners get on here. I think we have some interesting situations here. I'll tell you what, man, just because of the team, I like Seattle so much. I want to bet them, but I'm worried that I'm walking into a trap. And I don't know what you guys in the chat think, but I almost feel like I would rather play this Seattle team if they weren't making this trip. If they weren't making this trip, I might like them a little more. Seattle is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. Another thing, the total's gone over in Seattle's 5 of last 7 games, and I haven't really talked about the total yet. It's sit at 44.5, which is so back in the day that was like a high total. Now it's like a medium to medium low total. I'd say like 47 to me now is like around the median, although the totals are down this week. You know, this is one of the higher totals on the board this week, but the total's gone over in 5 of Seattle's last 7 games. Seattle 1-4 in their last 5 against Tampa, but they don't play that often, so I don't know how much I really read into that trend. And they're counting this as a road game, and the trend it says the total's gone over in 5 of Seattle's last 6 games on the road. But I mean, I don't know, how do we feel this? But let's look at the Tampa side. Tampa 6-1 against the spread in their last 7, and of course we know that one was the late push with the Rams, and that's where some of these trends also, right? You don't want to put too much stock into them, because are they going against the closing line or the opening line? The ones that I'm giving you out are usually against the closing line, but we know that there was 2.5s available last week, right? So sometimes your results in these trends aren't going to be exactly the same. So Seattle's been going over. Tampa's been going under. The total's gone under in 4 of Tampa Bay's last 5 games. And then we're getting a little bit of talk here on the showdown slate. And I think Kurt is doing the playbook for that. He seems to have been the he does EuroLeague basketball. They seem to be giving him all the playbooks for the EuroLeague football games as well. Let me check and make sure I sent Tyler the right link. Seems like I did. We still have yet to hear from him. They're counting this as the home game in these trends, so that's kind of silly. Do you guys like these? Do you guys like these games over here in Europe? I personally do like them. I think they're tough to handicap, but I like having the NFL on. I wake up. I listen to AP, JT Hayes, right? That's a great show. Tambo is the host there. And of course, you guys have heard me steal Tambo's line there at the end. I'll give credit to Tambo for that. And he's been doing great, right? But I don't need to listen to this game in the morning. So I listen to my guys break it down. I'm usually up listening to them anyways, but I have some football on the TV as well. A little showdown slate action too. So we'll see where Kurt's looking. Our guy Chance Pfeiffer says that Cade Otton's a lock. Seattle always gives up the middle of the field. Cade will eat. That'll be interesting. Yes, we will have the high energy Kurt. He should be here. Bringing more energy than me. I'm sipping on. Hey, so here's what I do. I put a little Rockstar in my Gatorade, so I'm not drinking too much Rockstar. But I'm ready to get fired up with these guys. They're younger than me. I'm like Pete Carroll, though. I'm trying to hang out with these young guys for as long as I can. And we'll be getting to this as well. He's talking about the Broncos, the Saints, and the Cardinals defense this week. Cardinals interesting. I mean, that just seems like a full fade of the Rams because we don't like that squad. The Broncos going against the Titans, of course. and the Saints going against the Steelers. And of course, I can't wait to talk to Tyler about that one because I think we're going to be opposite there. There's three coaches that I love: Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, and Mike Vrabel, and I love the spot for Mike Tomlin this week. Quick spoiler: Matt Sessions agrees. He says, "I love the early NFL showdown option. Get a loss." And no, we're gonna crush. We're gonna crush on the betting side, and Kurt's gonna give you the winners on that showdown slate. So we definitely can't wait for that. It's energy. We love the energy. We got to bring the energy here on these shows, right? Anyone can give out these winners. Anyone can give out the stats, run projections and stuff. But this is the entertainment industry as well. So I love the energy Kurt brings, and it makes me feel a little bit younger. Let me check with these guys. I wasn't sure if I sent them the right link, and they're worrying me a little more, but hopefully they'll be in here soon. Here's a comment from Kevin Clunan. The Jets defense is for real. Hey, man, I was down on the Jets, and it's funny. If you guys watch the NFL preview shows, Tyler and I went through the schedules, right? And it felt like every team that was playing the Giants and the Jets, we gave the opposing team a loss to. And that's why it's tough to do those projections before the season. And, boy, I'm really curious to see what the Jets do with Zach Wilson because obviously they invested a high draft pick in the guy. But right now, watching that team, that seems to be the biggest hole in that offense. I know how Breece Hall was playing so well, and I had him, in a fantasy league, and I was playing him a lot in DFS. That was a tough injury, but I don't want to say they haven't missed a beat because they are a little less explosive. But they acquired James Robinson from the Jaguars, and Michael Carter's still a good back there. So they got 52 guys ready to go. I'm wondering how long they can keep this up now. The Jets and the Giants are a little different because the Giants' statistics have been bad. So the Giants are winning, but if you run a model that's not just points-based, and a lot of what I do is points-based, and I understand the flaws in it, because if you listen to some of the sharper people like PFF does this, where they give you the real score and they kind of take out the turnover luck, which I can kind of understand, but I almost wonder if they're going too far with it. Because it always seems like the better teams do create more turnovers, lucky or not. Being in the right place, being coached correctly, and what do they say? The best way to have good luck is to be prepared, right? Preparation gives you that good luck, and it feels like these good teams are doing that. So, we're doing that. Let's see. Did you see about the Jets fan that flipped a coin for their win last on their schedule so far? He's 100% right. Well, give me that coin. Give me that coin. Anthony says, what's my biggest surprise this year? It's got to be – it's either the Jets or the Seahawks. It's either the Jets or the Seahawks. It seems like I did give you guys the right link. Kurt, you're joining us. The chat is excited about you bringing the energy. I was just kind of, talking some NFL before you and Tyler joined. Biggest surprise this year? I'm going to go with the Jets. What's your biggest surprise, Kurt?
How bad the Broncos are.
All right.
Which, I think is all on the coaching. But their offensive line improved, like, at the end of last year. I don't think Russell's amazing, but, yeah, it's just – I didn't think he'd fall off a cliff. I thought he'd be able to get kind of the ball to his playmakers, and he just can't. So I guess that'd be my biggest surprise. Off my top of my head, I could think of another. I guess – a really big one is like how crazy the trade deadline has gotten. It's starting to become like the NBA a little bit. Like Christian McCaffrey getting dealt seems like something that is so important that they would kind of – the NFL's pussies. They'll just wait to the offseason to do it. So the fact that something that big happened midseason, I'm kind of interested in how that's been happening a lot lately. So that's pretty cool.
All right. Woo! And our guy is talking about he wants your girl here on the show.
Hey.
Too. Yes, yeah. Once you get married, right? That'll be her. Yeah, he says you just got off the bench. We'll see if we get some relaxed excitement today. All right, Kurt, we are going to jump right in, and we'll get some of Tyler's thoughts when he does jump on. He sent me a message.
Where's he at? I didn't know we were leaving you stag here.
No, that's fine. I like talking to the chat, and that's why we always say, hey, like the show, subscribe to the channel. The more people in the chat, when things like this happen, rather than us just sitting around and waiting, I can jump on and interact with these guys. And hey, like sometimes like on the NBA show, like when we miss something, the chat corrects us. So We always appreciate that. So I talked a little bit about Tampa and Seattle. So the people watching the show already know what I think. But just to give you a quick review, Kurt, I really like Seattle here, but the fact that the game's in Germany is kind of throwing me off. And I wasn't sure, but have you been assigned the showdown slate again? You've kind of been the Euro showdown guy, right? When they play in Europe. Are you going to do a showdown slate here?
It's already basically the write-up's done. The numbers aren't in yet, like the projections and stuff. But I think if you go to NFL showdowns and you go to alternate playbook, that's where it is right now. I don't know if you all can view that, but yeah, it's already done. I went ahead and did it because, I mean, Mike Evans is Mike Evans. The guy's going to gut it out and play. Like I mentioned in the playbook that like he got hurt very early on in that game, and I think he cracked his ribs and like he couldn't catch after that. Like it bothered him so much that he was dropping balls that he never drops, which I guess this year he's been dropping a lot. But you could just, I mean, they're like right here, not even on the run, just right here. Like he's squatting down, couldn't even catch it because the ribs were bothering him. I think he will play. I think he'll probably put on a flight jacket. And I think he's gotten used to catching all week with cracked ribs, what I'm assuming it is. So, yeah, I mean, there's no injury news, so if y'all want to go take a peek at that, you can. I think there's a lot of ways to attack that slate. You can kind of switch up your captains. I am kind of with you on the Seattle side. I agree it's weird it's in Germany, but, like, I don't think we can buy into this Bucs offense just because they ran a good 2-minute drill. This offense is really, really bad. The offensive line is not improved. Nothing's changed. Like, we're still dropping passes. Like, the offense is in a flux. Unless they let Tom start doing – I mentioned this in the showdown playbook too, but if they start letting Tom do more tempo stuff – you can't do tempo all the time, but be more willing to let them do tempo and Tom just call the offense at the line of scrimmage, I think they'll be better off. That's when they look their best, even if it's just in like the first half or something. But I mean, I would rather just tend to believe that this Bucs offense is still AIDS and just side with Seattle.
All right. While we wait for Tyler, help me build a lineup here. So I pulled it up. I'm getting ready to enter the showdown. And the first name that my eyes are drawn to is Kenneth Walker. He's been absolutely fantastic. My question is, and Tampa's defense hasn't been good against the run this year, which is kind of surprised because they've been so good the past 3 to 4 years, of course, suffering from injuries. And then I also think taking away your defensive coordinator and now he has to deal with everything, right? Because if Todd Bowles was just the DC, he doesn't have to deal with travel to Europe, hotels, what time you get there, getting the equipment there, right? Now you have, however many men, you have to deal with every single problem, right? If you're the defensive coordinator and Mike Evans is having an issue off the field, right, you don't even worry about it, right? You just give him a dap. Hey, what do you need, Mike? But now you have so much more on your plate. I also think that's, taken away from some of Tampa's effectiveness. So is it too chalky if I just plug him in as captain right off the bat, or am I also limiting myself because he's the second highest priced player?
I think you plug him in cash, but I do not in big GPP. I'm
going GPP here. Let's do GPP.
Yeah, I don't think you plug it because like people are talking shit about the Bucs run defense, and yes, it's not the number one run defense in the league like it was last year, but like it's not like people consistently running all over this team. They still take pride in it. Devin White's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I just think they take a lot of pride in stopping the run. I think they stepped up. They still have the best run stopper in the league is still Vita Vea, period. I mean, he's been rushing the passer awesome this year too, but like he's the best run stopper in this league, bar none. And like, I don't know. I think they'll be energized to stop the run, but that doesn't mean that Kenneth Walker can't get there. I think he's still a great flex play. I just think we're going to twist back the clock and go what has been optimal for a lot of the times, but a pass catcher will be optimal on this slate for sure, which is always, it's been the more chalkier route this past couple of years. But I mean, obviously people are just going to do Kenneth Walker here. I think it's definitely going to be a pass catcher. I'm like 90% sure.
Okay, so help me out here because this is where I need your expertise, right? Because if you weren't here, I would have just plugged him in and kept going, but that would have really hampered me for the rest of my prices. Who should I be looking at then? I do like the Seattle side. I see Lockett and Metcalf here at 12.9 and 12.6. Are they still too expensive? Do I need to really get crazy, or what are you thinking here as I'm trying to create a captain here and make this one?
It's the old, like I talked about it, it's the old Metcalf Lockett debate. No one ever gets that wrong, do they? I mean,
yeah,
it's so easy. So I haven't.
Like the chicken and the egg. We're going to keep talking about it to the end of time.
Yeah, so Saturday night is when I usually dig into who gives up what as far as where the wide receivers are aligning. So I need to see if it's from the slot, yada, 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 and then I'll eventually add that to the playbook in the morning. But I think you can pick right now. We'll just go with our gut. Pick one of those two that you like because you are on the Seattle side. So I would go one of Lockett or Metcalf.
All right, I'm going DK.
And then if we're going, I think you're with me on Seattle side. This Bucks offense can't move the ball.
Yeah.
And the Seattle defense is 3,800. I mean, or 3,600. I'm not saying they got to smash, but I mean, as far as like guys, we don't like many guys down here. I didn't write them in the playbook. I mean, D. Eskridge, I guess you could punt if Goodwin's out. If Marquise Goodwin is out again.
You mean Chris Godwin? Oh,
No,
Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin because he's been so balling lately. But if he's, I guess you could, but it's still gross. That's why I think Seattle defense, if you're on this route, is definitely in play, especially since you got Lockett or Metcalf captain. So I would plug in Seattle's D. Or you can go with kicker if that's your vibe.
All right, who do I go with on? I've thrown a bunch of Seattle guys in my lineup now. I need some Tampa run back. Who do I run? Who do I run on Tampa? Lenny.
So I'm torn right now because like Lenny's been terrible, but he is the best in pass pro. And he talked about how he's pissed off about the playing time, but it's just White's been better, and he's 5K. I mean, this is more like it's a 50-50 timeshare now. I think you're getting a huge discount on White, and I also love Cade Otton there at 5'4". Seattle is dead last against tight ends, dead last. Cade Otton is emerging. His touchdown was in like the last second of the game last week, but like he's been super involved. Tom's starting to trust him, and now he gets the absolute nut matchup, and he's only 5'4".
Who's that? Cade?
Cade Otton, our rookie tight end out of Washington.
All right. I made a quick lineup there, talking to you, and I'm pretty excited about that. And our guy Tyler is here. So we're ready. We've talked about Seattle and Tampa. Kurt and I both lean Seattle, but we're a little worried. And I remember we talked about this when we were making the playbook on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you said, don't bet this game spread. Don't bet this game. You think that it's just, flipping a coin or rolling the dice or playing some blackjack and not really finding an edge because of the travel. What do you think now, Tyler? Have you moved out that position, or do you still think this is a tough one to get involved with?
Nope, still not touching this game spread. These overseas games, you've seen weirder things happen. I mean, if I'm betting this, I'm probably betting it under. I can see Seattle come in a bit jet lagged. They do have the farther travel. So, I mean, travel's travel, but it's just, I think it's going to be a little tougher for them. And also, it's like, what better way to show football to the Germany fans than send the greatest football player ever over there and let him win a game? So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the flags all game either. So stay away from me. Maybe just bet the under.
All right. Anything more on this game before we move on to slate? Because we are starting a little late. Oh, go ahead.
Just real quick, Kurt last week talked about how Seattle gives up everything across the middle. Mm-hmm. Godwin runs always routes across the middle. He's catching 7 to 8 balls Monday morning.
Yeah, you remember me talking about that, bro? God bless. Seattle leaves that middle wide open. That's what makes me like Otton, too. But I agree. I agree with Godwin. My first lineup had Godwin captain. That's who I did my GPP lineup. I like that.
All right. Well, I just threw Godwin in there. Let's go. All right. Well, let's get in because we started a little late, but we want to break down the slate. And, of course, we do have the NBA rundown coming up. So we're going to have to be expedient. The Jacksonville Jaguars plus 9.5 in Kansas City taking on the Chiefs. Total of 51. Tyler, this line's moved a lot since we talked on Wednesday, and did the playbook. Seems like the Chiefs are taking money, and now it's closer to what I had projected it at, right? Let me go here and look. Let me make sure I got this right. When we did this earlier, right, we had the Chiefs. Oh, no, it was minus 9.5. And I had them by 11. So I like the Chiefs. What are your thoughts here? We'll start with you, Tyler. I know that you like this as a teaser, but let's just say, hey, we want to bet it straight. We're going to bet this game. Would you rather take the Chiefs or the Jaguars?
Part of me wants to take the Jaguars because his Chiefs team just really doesn't step on anyone's neck spread. Like, they'll come in, they'll play their football game. Like, unless you're just turning over the ball, like, and just bleeding it and just giving them the ball in short field positions. Like similar how kind of how San Fran did a few games ago, and then they bust a couple big plays, and that's how it looks like they blow you out, which could happen here. But the Jags, I mean, I think 9's a bit too much. I'm going to side with them, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them get blown out.
Kurt, what are you doing here? Chiefs have traditionally not been good against the spread. I'm wondering, though, after that close game against Tennessee, if we don't see an offensive explosion against the Jaguars team that started off great, but then has kind of regressed to be the typical Jaguars. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm done taking large spreads. I did it once this year as last week, and I'm fucking done with that bullshit. The Jags are a quality team. I'm not taking that. Fuck that shit. That pissed me off last week. Like, the thing is, like, they couldn't even pass the ball. And, like, what are the Chiefs doing? It's horrible. It pisses me off. So
Maybe Tennessee's just pretty good. Oh, wait, hold on. How have I not victory lapped that yet, Kurt? This is talking touchdowns. I took the Titans. Everybody, okay. There we go. You guys already heard from me, but you don't know how happy I was to be right on that game. That meant so much more to me than the money, just to get you, because you had been running me when we had gone head to head, and I finally was able to get a little get back. Right, score one for the old man.
And it was me going against every fiber of my being. Like, I love my Bravo. I never take points. Like, first time I've done that all year. I've been avoiding that shit. And, like, they couldn't even complete a pass, and they still, like, covered. Like, I just don't see where people get off taking big spreads like that. I don't care how sharp you are. I'll tell you to your face, go fuck yourself. And take your fucking 12 points, and why don't you shove it up my ass crack? Motherfucker. Well,
there you go. There's that energy that they were talking about in the chat. They were saying, are we getting big energy from Kurt today?
I'm serious. Like, I'll talk to the sharpest person in the world. Like, whenever they say, oh 13, no, go fuck yourself. You're an idiot. Like, stupid. They were in Arrowhead, and their quarterback couldn't complete a pass, and they covered. I'm just amazed. Like,
Mike Vrabel. He's like Tom.
Boy, too. Like,
Let's talk about a game that seems too easy. The Houston Texans are +5 against the New York Giants, who are coming off a bye. Total is 41. Tyler, the Texans can't stop the run, and the Giants have Saquon Barkley, who's rested. Is this too easy? We thought about that for a game last week, though, and it was the easy catch. Remember the New England Patriots versus the Colts? Maybe that was the week before, right?
No,
but remember when we said, yeah, and we're just like, this is too easy. Like, this line's 2 points off. I feel the exact same way here, but things are, I mean, if it was this easy, right? I'd have 1,000 cats behind me. I just keep buying them. But, hey, what do you think here, Tyler? The New York Giants laying 5. Giants are past to me. I mean, what am I missing?
Get ready for a new cap spread, because this is as easy as it gets. I mean, yes. Unless this is a trap game, I think it's just the way the Giants line up too. Like, Saquon could easily bust for 150 here, 2 touchdowns, and no one blink an eye because of how bad Houston is against the run. I think Miles Sanders busted off 8 yards a carry last week, and Miles Sanders isn't half the player that Saquon is. Mm-hmm. So he's also going to get a ton more carries. If they throw the ball a little bit, it'll be Wandell and these guys. But, I mean, I just think 4.5 is a bit short. The line opened at 6.5. Our guy Joey Work wants on spread. Send him an invite so he can come on and talk about the Giants game. But, 4.5, the line went down. Give me the Giants here. I think they smash. And 2, when you put him on defense, Wink Martindale's just going to blitz Davis Mills. Outside of Pierce, he has no weapons. So he's not going to be able to move the ball very well. That they're going to beat him by at least a touchdown. Give me the Giants.
All right. Do you agree? Kurt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Dave was just a good coach, man. Like, he's making Jones look competent. Barkley should be able to do what he wants. It's at home. Their fan base is jacked up. They've not been this good in a while, so that place will be rocking. Someone was giving me shit last week for calling Davis Mills good. I called Davis Mills serviceable. And first of all, he made a competitive game against the team with the best record in the NFL right now. And his weapons were Chris Moore, Philip Dorsett, and his coach is Lovie fucking Smith. And we're just saying, so we're sure Davis Mills is bad because his coach, Lovie Smith, and those weapons. He's bad, though. He's bad. Listen, clown, motherfucker. Put this guy in Kansas City and let's see how bad he is. Or not Kansas City now. They don't have no weapons, but put him on like shit. Oh, God. Who has weapons?
Miami?
Yes, Miami. That's a great. I'm not used to saying that. Yeah, put him on Miami. I promise you, Davis Mills is not going to look as bad as some of these quarterbacks. And I was comparing him to other shit quarterbacks, which he is way above them. Anyways, I was hurtful. I mean, what do you expect to see from Davis Mills with this cast? What do you want? You can look what Patrick Mahomes is doing.
Nothing, because we're betting on the Giants this week.
Exactly. Give me the Giants. Give me Barkley. Yeah. Next game. I know we got to hurry.
No, it's good. It's good. Tyler, do you have any props for this game?
I mean, outside of betting Barkley to score 2 touchdowns or taking his alt yards up to like $1.25 and getting a nice plus money price on it, just give me the Giants minus 4.5 here.
All right. Kurt, any DFS aspects of this game?
So Cooks, we don't know what they're doing. Yeah, Barkley, of course. 8,600 is pretty affordable. I've not looked at what value we're going to have. I'd like to go Wandale, but this isn't really the script. They're going to really need him, and Houston's not been that bad in the secondary, surprisingly. So we'll kind of wait another week on Wandale. I like Wandale, but not much here.
On the old guys pod, I was going to play Wandale, and they said Slayton's better, and it's cheaper.
They said Darius Slayton's better than Wandale Robinson
as a play this week.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant as a player. I was like,
I was about to say, yeah.
Whoa.
No, I'm talking about as a play this week.
That has to be something I've not looked at yet. That has to be like a matchup chart thing or something because,
it's just he's been getting way more targets. His target share is way higher.
6. Wandale's not even getting the snaps yet. His snaps are still improving. He had 8 targets to 6 targets 2 weeks ago, and last week it was 3 to 6. So 1 week sample of him getting 3 more targets is all of a sudden makes him a better play.
So who would you play then? Because they
if I had to pick one off a bye, they said off a bye week, Wandale, who's healthy now, is worse play than Slayton. That makes no sense at all. I actually hate that take. I wasn't going to play either, but fuck it. Now I'm playing Wandale.
All right.
He's coming back from an injury, and he's off a bye week. Like, rookie's off a bye week. Even I know it's a receiver, but still, and he was injured, so he got another week to get healthy. His snaps are increasing every week. I understand last week he had 3 less targets than Slayton, but you increase those snaps, it's going to be even, and Wandale is much more talented as a player.
All right, and I did send Joey work an invite, so if he hops on, we'll of course double back to this game because
I'm sure he would agree with me. He's the Giants fan; he would have to agree with me.
Yeah, and I know he's going to love the fact that we are. I
don't mind
that we're all on the Giants here. I hope. You know what? Sometimes it sucks when it's easy. All right, so let's see. Otter says, I think the Giants win the game, but can't imagine laying that much with them. Just take the points. Dunkel's been taking 4 to 5 up to 10. I like that teaser now with today's NFL. Interesting that we're getting away from the Wongs. Teasers have been rough this year. All right, thank you for that. All right, we will move on. Joey, if you jump in, we will double back. Tyler, I cannot wait to talk to you about this one because you know who I'm taking here. When the New Orleans Saints travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers off a bye. And Tyler, there's one thing that matters here. One thing that matters. And I'm going to wait to make sure he's on the field before I place this. But TJ Watt is back.
They said he's playing.
Yeah. Why would I not take the Steelers? This defense is going to be awesome. Jalen Warren's going to get more.
Is your quarterback's colorblind?
Oh, we're worried about.
He doesn't know what color. He doesn't know what color jersey he's throwing to.
And Dalton's that much better?
Dalton's beat this team a lot, spread. He used to play in this division.
2,800.
Bengals never beat the Steelers.
There is no weather concerns for Andy Dalton coming into this one. He knows the weather up
the
north.
Dome team. Oh, my God.
But him specifically, he's going to play perfectly fine. He played in Cincinnati for years. So
2,800.
How about the rest of the team?
The rest of the team, it's a little more worrisome, but the Steelers have been gouged by running backs. I can see Kamara eating them up here. Even if Watt's back, if he's going crazy on the field, the way he plays, I could see him back on the sideline within 2 quarters. Him trying to jump and bat these balls down. He's going to blow that peck out again too, spread, because this is a lot quicker back than anyone expected him. So don't be surprised if he's back on the sideline. I don't trust their offense one bit. I don't care if it's off a bye week. Give me the Saints here. They win this game.
All right.
What about 2,800 Steelers defense?
We got the potential for a victory lap here on Talking Touchdowns on Monday. Kurt, I love the Steelers. What a surprise, right? Tyler's taking Dennis Allen over Mike Tomlin. You got to be kidding me. That's like taking me over Gary Kasparov. Break the tie. Who do you like, the Steelers or the Saints?
What's the spread?
Steelers plus 1.5. Basically pick the winner.
It's a pick 'em. Oh gosh, spread. I'm sorry, but I still like this defense for DFS. 2,800 lets you do stuff. I think Watt can make a play or two, and it's not like Andy Dalton's gonna pass all over you, even though he has once this year. But I like that defense. But I don't know if I can take the Steelers on the pick 'em, man. Oh, I don't know about that one.
I love it. I get a chance to victory lap on both you guys again.
Well, my stance would just be a stay away. Because, I like the Steelers' defense, so it's not like I can say, I'm very confident in the Saints. So mine would be a stay away, slight lean to the Saints.
All right. Talk to us about DFS. Is it besides the Steelers defense, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this isn't a game you want to play, right? I mean,
loving that
you are
play,
getting
obviously.
super contrarian if you play anyone out of this game, right? Maybe Kamara, maybe, but there's a lot of good running back options this week. Are you doing anything here, Kurt?
Olave's ceiling for 6,800 seems like kind of tough. So, yeah, I don't. Najee Harris 5,500. God, he sucks.
But he doesn't suck. He's got it. He's
no,
injured.
He's supposed to lose carries this week.
He should. He's playing with the Liz Frank. He shouldn't even be playing this year.
Well, no, his foot's fine now. That plate's out of his shoe. All that's done. He just
his foot's fine. He's just slow now.
He's just Trent Richardson. He sucks. Don't be surprised if this turns into like similar how I don't want to say Zeke Pollard, but it's kind of similar because he's just not as fast, doesn't find the holes. And then you look at Warren, it's like Warren goes through the holes like Pollard does. He busts through them. All of a sudden, if you give him space, he'll run for 15 to 20 yards. If no one's there, he'll just house it. They already said this week all through the news that Warren's getting more carries. And don't be surprised if Najee's just fully out of the offense.
Yeah, and I'm not against that either. I mean, I'm a big Najee guy. He was a NorCal guy, did great in Alabama, but he still hasn't had it. And that's surprising to me. I was assuming the reason he hasn't looked good was because of the injury, but you're telling me he's fully healthy. That can be disappointing. But the only thing different than Zeke, they're not wasting a bunch of salary there, right? I mean, they just
that's the only difference.
On a
they're just not wasting the money.
Yeah. What about Warren as a value running back there, Kurt?
I was just not wondering that. I'm going to see how much I need that 4.9. I kind of wish it was like 4.5, but they smartly priced him at least a tiny bit up. So we'll see how the builds come. I don't hate it at all. I just don't love the game too much. But if I fall on that as a last piece, 4.9 running back, I feel no problems playing Warren. I have like 100% Warren in best balls because he's going undrafted basically, which is dumb for a backup running back in Pittsburgh. But I would love to see this return to at least 50-50, if not more.
And Tyler, I'm not Otter's asking a question, but I'm going to throw this over to you because you've actually had more success with me on the teasers this season. What do you think about taking the 5.5 up to the 10.5? You're getting a discount on the juice and still two key numbers. Are you thinking about situations like that? I think he's referring to that original Giants game that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that because even with the Giants winning, I could see them winning it by about a touchdown and not blowing this team out, winning it by like 10 to 12. So taking it up to 10.5 is definitely a way to look at it. I don't hate that call.
Yeah, I mean, in the old days, we wouldn't do that. But I don't think that the Wongs are as valuable anymore because, number one, they're going for two so much more often. And then also they're just going for it on fourth down so much more. Whereas in the old days, they just take the points or it was pretty – these guys go for it on fourth down so much and it just flips the field. I don't think that the Wong teasers are as valuable as they used to be. So it'll be interesting, especially since they hiked the price. It used to be minus 110. Now it's minus 120 there on the two teamers. That's why I've kind of been getting away from them, but I know that you've had success, which is why I threw that question to you. All right, the Detroit Lions are in Chicago taking on the Bears.
Before we go into that, I have the quote from that they reported on the Steelers offense. It says, reports come as the Steelers exit their bye week with an offense that could emphasize more targets for George Pickens and phase out the ineffective Najee Harris. It says Jaylen Warren will get more touches moving forward per Mike Tomlin.
That's enough for me to play 4.9.
And you got to like a coach that's going to let us know that before the slate locks. Last thing, hey, Pickens also moving Claypool, right? It was to open up more opportunities for him as well. So
yeah,
maybe a guy that we look at, right? But maybe not the right quarterback to get him there, huh, Kurt?
Yeah,
if you landed on Pickens, do you rebuild?
Yeah, it just puts the game environment in 5K. Like it's not like we're getting a discount. So
okay, all right, no discount there, so no interest there. The Lions taking on everybody's favorite Ohio State quarterback, Tyler. This guy might be the one that breaks the mold. Justin Fields, I know, and you can go ahead and talk about his throwing, but boy, there's not a lot going on there in the pocket, and this guy is fast. He looked fantastic against Miami last week, and now he plays one of the worst defenses in the league, the Detroit Lions. Not only that, this dome team's going to be outdoors. I'm ready to hop on the Bears bandwagon. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you here. I mean, the weather doesn't look too bad either. 35 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds. So it's like it's going to be cold, but there's not going to be crazy weather conditions. It all depends on who's all back for Detroit here. Like, is Swift going to play? I haven't seen anything on him.
He said he's
I
not going to
think
be
it's
100% all year.
Okay, so yeah, it's one of those things. So it'll be mainly Williams. I mean, yeah, I think the Bears win. I think it's a closer game than people expect. It might even be a lot high scoring because normally when they play this matchup the last few years, it was just that game where you just bet the under and you just walked away and you watched it and end up like 20-17 somewhere in there. I could see this game being a shootout with how these offenses have played. Fields run all over them. St. Brown come back on the other side and light up this secondary. His yardage at 74.5. I like that. And then as for the side, though, give me the Bears here. I think they win the game spread.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one where it almost feels too easy because it's less than 3. I know it's a division game, but the lines are just terrible. Kurt, man, I hate when the slate feels easy like this. I just feel like I can have a lot of money outlaid, especially all the money I made on playing all those RPB plays off the NBA Bets playbook last night. I just don't want to give it back. Walking into these situations where I feel like I'm overlooking something. Talk to me about your thoughts here.
Yeah, this may be a little trappy for DFS and for betting, I think. I mean, Detroit's outdoors, seems like a smash play. I can see them backdooring here, so I'll take Detroit to cover, even though they burned me like once or twice this year. And it's going to be really hard to get off Fields chalk, man. He's affordable and the nut matchup.
What is he sitting at, like 65 or 67?
6,500, and I imagine he'll be at least 30.
Who's at 67? There was another good option right there.
Tua,
yeah. Who would you rather have of those two, Kurt?
The lower owned one, whichever. Ernst has been so inaccurate this year, but just give me the one that's lower owned. You can stack Tua a lot easier, so I guess Tua. But God, I love Fields. You don't have to stack Fields either, which is also nice.
I'm going to go back to something I said real quick. Why you say Wongs haven't done well? I've been doing well this year. I'm a little more selective. Well, that's why you've been doing well. I'm saying before. So that's when you tease between the 3 and the 7.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll pull out my Wong.
All right. Well, I'm sure Squirt Jones would love that. But no, Otter, before we could blind bet them, now you have to be selective. So I'm just saying if you Wonged everything, the return will be so much lower this year than it was. I mean, before 2 years ago, you could blind bet them. You could blind bet those Wong teasers. Now you can't. So you are doing well, but the key is you've been more selective, and that's why you've been doing okay. I'm saying before you could blind bet them, and that's why they moved the juice. That's why every book offers -120 now on teasers and not -110 unless you have some stale locals. But that's why I say that, just because you can't blind bet them anymore. But I'm happy to see that you're doing well, and I know you're in the Discord and you're talking with JJ, and he's another one that really excels at these teasers. Tyler, are we ready to move on? Did you have any props in the Bears game?
Just that I'm on St. Brown over 74.5 receiving yards right now.
All right. And Tyler, can you do me a favor? Because I'm bouncing through windows right now. Can you send a message to AP and let him know we're running a little late here on Talking Touchdowns? All right. So for those of you who are on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel waiting for the NBA rundown, we are going to be a little late, but we're going to break down all these games for you. Kurt, the Cleveland Browns are in Miami taking on the Dolphins. Another one where it seems too easy, man. Like, I know the Browns beat the Bengals, whoop-de-doo, but I had this game at like 6 or 7. Money's just poured in on the Browns. It's open at 5.5. It's down to 3.5. People like the Browns here. I don't get it. I'm not high on the Browns and Brissett. I guess you could say, well, Miami didn't cover last week. That was a completely different situation with Justin Fields, because you can say, oh, well, Fields ran the ball. Yeah, but a lot of times he was dropping back and he was running the ball against pass coverage. It's not like just lining up and running the ball the way the Browns will with Nick Chubb. So I like the Dolphins here. I felt like the whole world would like the Dolphins, but you look at the way the money's coming in, it's been close to even. What are your thoughts here, Kurt? Dolphins, Browns.
I love what the Browns gave me against the Bengals, but now I think back in Miami, I don't think this offense will be able to keep up unless they legit just ground and pound Chubb, which they could. But even then, I still feel like this Miami offense is so electric that like the Browns secondary is very sus. So I think Miami can definitely cover that. And I think you can, as expected, you can keep stacking them up, going whichever way you want. I think Jeff Wilson, because Edmonds had been statistically one of the worst running backs this year. So the fact that they add another competent rusher in Wilson is kind of massive to kind of supplement Mostert, who's been solid. But yeah, I don't know. Give me Miami. I think that two-headed backfield now. They got so many weapons. I think Miami can cover.
Tyler, this feels like we're setting up for disaster because I've taken one public dog in the Seahawks. Well, I haven't bet it yet because I took your advice, but I'm telling you where I'm leaning. But then I'm taking a bunch of favorites, and we know that never ends well. Talk to me about the Dolphins and the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, unless this defense led by Myles Garrett and these guys can get to Tua and create pressure, and then Nick Chubb's on the other side just controlling the run game, there's no way the secondary is stopping these receivers. I mean, I don't care what defense you're sending out there. Unless Tua's on his back looking at the sky, there's no way these receivers aren't catching balls and getting down the field, and these teams going to score points. And I don't think Cleveland's going to be able to get to him. I mean, Myles Garrett is still a very good player, but he hasn't looked all that good this year. Their defense is also banged up in the secondary, so these guys might be running wide open. Give me the Dolphins here, spread. Tua's going to probably throw for 3 to 4 touchdowns. Hill and Waddle will both be close to 100, if not over it again, and they'll win this game pretty easy. Give me the Dolphins minus 3.5.
Oh man, this just feels too easy this week, man. I'm so curious to how this turns out. So curious to how this turns out. The Minnesota Vikings are +3 in Buffalo taking on the Bills. The line move says to me that, hey, Josh Allen's out, but he hasn't officially been ruled out yet. The Vikings are another team, kind of like the Giants, where if you just run statistics and not just point differential, I can tell you the Vikings aren't that good. But you're going to run point differential and record. The Vikings are getting it done. Of course, in their one other game against, a real high-profile opponent, they got smacked by the Eagles. But other than that, they've looked pretty good. Talk to me about how we're approaching this game. Is this just a wait for the news, Tyler, or do we try and jump in maybe on I guess it's too late to say take the Vikings for the value. But, do you take Buffalo and then hope Josh Allen plays? What are you expecting here from this game, Tyler?
I got a hot take on him, but as for this game, I just take the Vikings money line and just run with that. I mean, this team's going to fall into another favorable spot because, to be honest with you, Spread, I don't think Josh Allen plays another game this year. I think that elbow injury is pretty bad. It's a UCL injury. They're saying it's a sprained elbow. It's the same injury Ben had 2 years ago where he had to have surgery and be done for the year. It's the same injury all these pitchers get to have Tommy John. You seen the play the dude threw his elbow out on. He tried to throw the ball 60 yards, and the defender knocked the ball out of his hand, so he whipped his arm as hard as he could to try and throw the ball and basically whiffed and probably blew that ligament out of his elbow. He's not going to sit there and be like, I'm going to get surgery. He's going to try and play this through knowing that he has a chance at the Super Bowl. I think within 2 weeks, I think he sits Sunday. I think all next week he doesn't practice. And closing up the Sunday, you start to hear rumors that he's going to have to get surgery and he'll be done. Case Keenum's a decent backup, but when your offense is built around a guy like Josh Allen, 6'7", could throw the ball 80 yards in the blink of an eye, Case Keenum can't step in and just run with that offense, I don't think. They also don't have a run game you could just pound the ball and just beat teams with. Like, you could give those running backs 30 carries. They might get you 50 yards because they're just not all that effective. I think Minnesota just walks in, they get another win, they move to 8-1 spread, and people are still calling them overrated, but I mean, you got to give them their record at this point.
All right, Kurt, wake up, Kurt, wake up. I know you're tired. I know that there's many, many women in the Virginia, D.C. area that have been keeping you up all night. But hey, we need you here. We need you talking touchdowns. Tyler's coming with the hot takes. He's encroaching on your territory. What are you coming in here with? He just wrote Allen off for the season. Dr. Chow, move over.
Dr. Chow. I've heard that, and I don't think it's that crazy to think. I actually think that he tries to play, and it's just not the same, and then he elects for surgery. But I have seen that take, and the person who said it got scolded too. But honestly, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. And that would just be blowing to the NFL, and I don't know, this entire season would just feel gutted if he is ruled out. That would suck. But I kind of want to see how much the line moves when he's officially ruled out. And then I would kind of be interested in taking Buffalo, depending on how much the line moves. Case Keenum revenge at home. Minnesota's a little bit overrated. I could see them covering a big spread. Maybe.
Are the Vikings overrated?
Slightly.
How?
Because I just don't think they're as good as the other NFC teams we talked about.
Who's better? Okay, Philadelphia, I'll grant you, but who else?
49ers. I'll take the Cowboys over Minnesota.
40, yeah, the 49ers.
Yeah, we had this
I
conversation
take
last
all
week.
three.
I was trying to argue with you, but you're right. I can't.
I mean, if you put them up
I would
against
be Skip Bayless if I
I
argued
was
that.
how we said like there's like this weird path for him to make it to the Super Bowl spread. I was talking to my buddy last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the dream path for this team to make it to the Super Bowl is somehow, some way, you get San Fran and Dallas to play each other in the first round, and the winner of that game has to go to Philadelphia in the next round. You want all three of those main pass rushing teams to eliminate each other, so you only have to beat one in the end. Because I could see if the Vikings catch one of those teams in the divisional round, they might win a slugfest late. But then here comes another team with a great pass rush. It's just going to be all over Kirk Cousins, and that's where they die, I think. So they got to fall into this dream path to get there, but it's there.
That'd be cool to see.
All right. Jonathan Nelson, our guy. Hey, Jonathan, tune into the NBA Rundown next because we're going to be breaking down the Kings versus the Lakers. Let's go. All right. But Jonathan Nelson is on the Vikings here. Too late, though, if you wanted the Vikings, you could have got +8 earlier this week. You know, feels like you're jumping in late. But let's go ahead and move on. And Tyler's bringing the hot takes. The Denver Broncos are now +3 going against the Titans. I should have got this one earlier, Tyler. You know I love the Titans. Mike Vrabel, awesome. Rah, rah, rah. But it feels like at this point there's no reason to get involved pregame. I missed the 2 points of value. We've slandered the Broncos and wrestled all season, but this is still one of the best defenses in the league. Even in spite of trading Bradley Chubb. Tyler, I know you're higher on the Broncos than me, and I know I'm higher on the Titans than you. Are you going to take Denver?
No, there's no way. I'm out on this team spread. I'm not high on this team anymore. We were high on them like 6 weeks ago when the season was starting, but not now. They're dead to me. Give me the Titans here. It's 2.5 on DraftKings. So you're getting under that 3. I mean, we just watched their pass rush be all over Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs have a way better offensive line than this Denver team. Russ is getting eaten alive by this pass rush. Their run game is kind of dead without Javonte Williams. Like, yeah, they'll try and run these 3 running backs out there, but I don't see them doing much. So, I mean, just if playing the side straight up, give me the Titans minus the 2.5. But just like our guy just said in the chat, Broncos are a great teaser piece, taking them up to 9.5, if you can even get them up to 10, because I don't see this Titans team blowing them out. Like, they're just going to run the ball. They're going to get out with their win. They could win this game 10-0 spread. They'd be completely fine with it.
Yeah, Kurt, I want to take these Titans here, but you know, JJ talks about these sell high spots. I know, and I know they didn't win the game, but everybody watched them really good against the Chiefs last week. If you know, they listened to me, which they probably didn't because it was me against the world, right? But they cashed a ticket with the Titans. You know, it just feels like, man, you know, we missed our opportunity if we did want to bet the Titans earlier in the week. And now I don't know if I want to lay 3 against a team that, like you said, doesn't throw the ball. I mean, even on your high school team, Kurt, did you guys throw the ball or did you run 3 running backs like the Titans do? What is going on?
We ran 3 running backs, and I think we had 3,000 or more yard rushers my junior and senior year. We had
were you running a line back then too? Because you had to have loved that if you were playing line.
Oh, I was loving it. Yeah, especially we would do zone blocking too. So I would get up and run downfield and get on linebackers and get on safeties. And oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you would love to play for Vrabel then.
Yeah, for sure. Like smash mouth football. I actually think I am going to go Titans here. I'd probably choose like, I don't know. If it's 2.5, I'd be comfortable with 2.5 if that's what it is.
It's 3 right now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of buyback here because when the market, you know, these books they already have tickets written at -1 and -2 and -2.5. And also it's juiced. I'm going off Bookmaker right now, +3, -115. Wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce back because the tickets are already there at that number. So yeah, we can go ahead and wait on that one. Anything more from this game? Derrick Henry, is he worth a look? It feels like other than maybe the defenses, this is a game where we're not going to have many daily fantasy pieces.
Denver's a good defense, but I want everyone to stop right now and look at the calendar. What's the date on the calendar? It's November 11th. Mm-hmm. Tractorcito, Derrick Henry 8.3. I don't care about the matchup. It's November, which means it's Derrick Henry smash time. Tractorcito. I will gladly pay 8.3 for Derrick Henry. I don't care about the matchup. Look at your fucking calendars. It's Derrick Henry season. I would prefer Barkley for $300, but am I surprised if I see Henry just have walked to 30 points here? Not at all. Judy, I don't like this game overall, but Judy and Sutton, you can take stabs as a last piece, especially if we think they're going to be kind of playing from behind. The offense is terrible, but 5'7", 5'6", I'll take a stab, especially Judy. Back-to-back 18-point games, decent targets. I like him. So don't mind that. We can go on to the next game.
Yeah,
The
Kevin and Otter.
We just seen them do.
Say what?
Did you play the Titans defense after what we just watched them do to the Chiefs? I mean, they could be
What's the
all over Russ and them. 3,200.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind that, especially at home. Don't mind that at all. Little stack that with Derrick Henry and just hope that Denver keeps sucking ass crack.
All right. Kurt, no more talk about your evening last night. Let us move on to the Indianapolis Colts and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are now -4.5. This might be the closest thing we've had to like NBA style tanking. You bench a quarterback for a guy that really doesn't even have NFL talent, right? Then you fire a coach. Okay, that's fine. But you bring in a guy who's not even with the team. I mean, this. Oh, man. The Raiders blow this one. Unbelievable. Tyler, and I'll tell you what, Josh McDaniels might just be the terrible coach to do it. What do you think?
I mean, I think Travis Kelce summed up how they hired this coach on his podcast pretty good.
I missed it. What did he say?
The owner
Travis Kelce or Jason Kelce?
No, it was Travis Kelce said it. They were both on there. But he said the Colts owner walked down onto the field at halftime of that game. It was like, man, I have to change something up down here. Like, we got to get rid of this coach. And they said he looked up at the Ring of Honor, and there was Jeff Saturday's name. It was like, you're our guy. Dude hasn't coached anything higher than high school spread. And then they put him in here. And the best part about it, did you see his tweet right before he got hired? He said the Raiders suck. Now this is the first team he gets to play. I mean, I hate betting this, but just give me the Raiders -4.5. And I can tell you one thing, spread. That trend I sent you earlier when teams have to visit Vegas and then the next week you fade them. We got to keep that locked in because we are definitely fading the Colts next week. I don't know what the spread's going to be, but I will be against them.
I mean, if all the players know the team is tanking, why would they care? They're going to have a great time. So maybe we'll catch them at the club. No, I did not hear Richard Sherman. And here's a question for you, Kurt. When you break this down, would you trust Taylor or should I start David Wilson? What are your thoughts on the Colts and the Raiders?
Who the fuck is David Wilson?
I was thinking the same thing, and I was glad you said it before.
It must be Jeff Wilson. But anyways, let's not worry about that question.
Start Taylor. I mean, Deion Jackson's out. He's going to be the bell cow on a team tank, and they'll just keep running the ball. Play Taylor. Right. So I actually am going to take the Colts. What's the spread? I'm hoping it's high as
+4.5, but I'll bet you the Raiders are take money. So if you like the Colts, just wait till about my time would be 11 a.m., but a couple hours before the game starts. Yeah, Jeff Wilson. He says Taylor
can rally here. Sorry, spread.
I want that draft pick. I want that Will Anderson cat. Will Anderson cat. Let's go. Go ahead. Let's go, Colts.
You're getting a quarterback.
I mean, that'd be fine too.
You're trading the veteran. You're getting a new guy.
Yeah, I wonder what we'll get for him, an 8th round pick. All right.
Jacob, Indy has the worst run defense, so you can fire up Jacobs.
Yeah. I don't know about Jacobs. He had that good little 3-week run, right? But then when we needed him, it's like, how do we have this great running back, but we can't hold on to leads? That doesn't make sense, right?
This is the
we got a great running back. We should be able to hold 17-point leads. Unbelievable there. What's going on with Josh McDaniels? So I'm fine staying off this game. Guys, because I haven't done as much promotion as usual because we're trying to get through this quickly. But, hey, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals +1.5 in Los Angeles taking on the Rams, total of 40.5. Tyler, 2 teams I want to fade are facing off. I mean, I don't think we're going to bet this, but let's give a pick for the people. Who do you like?
I mean, I want to bet the Cardinals here spread, but Kyler's now banged up. Like, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. He didn't practice much. So it's like tough.
Oh, what a surprise. Isn't that just like the Derrick Henry thing? Look at the calendar.
I seen a tweet.
Tyler's banged up.
I seen a tweet. I'm trying to find it now. This dude, the way he phrased it was perfect. But while I look for that, I mean, it's just Stafford and these guys. They're bad. Like, And the Cardinals defense has shown an ability to take the ball away from teams and also put points on the board. You have multiple guys on that defense that can pick six it, which I could definitely see here. Don't hate betting Arizona's defense to score a touchdown at a high price. So like that, if Kyler's in there, give me Arizona plus the 2. I don't feel very safe about it, but I just don't like this Rams team. We're getting them as a favorite, so you get the bet on the other side. Give me the Cardinals here.
Yeah, and Tyler, we got to give you your flowers there. You said that Rams team was going to fall apart.
It says a hamstring injury does not sound like it will keep Kyler Murray from answering the call of duty for the Cardinals in Week 10 against the Rams.
I'm so over those jokes. I mean, those have been more running into the ground than the me being a serial killer joke. Stop it, guys. Stop it. And I see you in the chat, Spencer Smith.
Yeah, Sarah guy wants you to return the basketball.
Yeah, hey. Kurt, do you have an edge on this game? Because I'm completely fine laying off of both these teams. How do you bet against both teams? What's a tie? Can we bet on a tie? I mean, what's going on here?
So I think tonight or tomorrow I'm going to watch All or Nothing with the Cardinals on HBO. So I think that'll take me from being off.
That's going to clear things up for you?
Yeah, that's going to make – I'm going to see how dysfunctional the Cardinals are.
I'm sure the women are going to be disappointed that you're taking a night off to watch Kyler Murray on HBO. Unbelievable.
It's going to give me a soft spot, and I'm going to end up taking the Cardinals if Kyler's in, which I would just stay away. It's two teams that are disappointing.
All right. DFS, do we fade the game too?
Higbee has been chalked the last 2-3 weeks. He will not be chalked this week. People are done with this bullshit. Arizona can't really stop the tight end. Coop is a little bit banged up, Cooper Kupp, so he's still dominating. But, I mean, Higbee's targets down last week, but I could see him trolling people, so I'm going to go back there. I've not been on him, so this week I will be on him since people are pissed off at him. Van Jefferson, 3.5, still has not done anything since returning. 5 targets last week. He's 3,500. Don't mind that. Arizona plays off. So, yeah, I think there's ways you can target here. Cooper Kupp's cheapest he's been in a while. And Arizona can't stop much. I don't mind a little Ram stack, even though the offense has been really bad. But still, don't mind that at all. Running backs wise, I mean, you don't play a Rams running back. And Connor seem to be in a timeshare now. So, nothing there for me. We're on the Dallas.
All right. Great. There's a good ending there. All right. Dang it. They logged me out, bookmaker. What was my next game? How did you guys log me out, guys?
Dallas, Green Bay. It's line Dallas is favored at -4.5. Totals 44.
Tyler, this is the one where my projections pissed me off, right? Because they told me to take Green Bay, and I said, screw you, projections. I am not taking Green Bay. How many weeks have we said Green Bay is going to get right? Green Bay is going to get right. Now we expect them to get right against one of the best pass rushes in the league? No way. I mean, if you want to – I don't necessarily say that I'm betting Dallas, but there's no way I'm putting money on the Packers anymore. Tyler, I mean, are they finally going to get right? I mean, unbelievable. What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean,
no,
they lost a couple guys. They lost Dubes on offense. He got carted off the field. Aaron Jones was dealing with an ankle sprain. He might not even play here. The offensive line's already banged up. This pass rush is going to be all over Rodgers. Give me Dallas here. I think they come in, they handle them, they just do their thing. Pollard could be in that backfield by himself also because Zeke's still banged up, so he could absolutely gouge this defense that sucks against the run. If Zeke's in there, they're just going to pound him and then use Pollard to break the big runs against this defense. So give me Dallas here. I think they smash them. I think they win this by a touchdown. That 4.5, I think, is a bit light. I think this should be 6.5.
Kurt, we've taken way too many favorites so far. This is not going to end well. But I can't take the Packers. What do you want to do?
I don't mind. I'm kind of leaning Packers just because there's no reason why they should cover this.
That's the only argument we can make, right? Is that nothing in the NFL makes sense. The Giants are 6-2. The Jets can't stop winning, right? Geno Smith is better than Russ.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, doing shit like this, it sounds crazy and not sharp. It's really not sharp take at all. But I've won a lot of bets this year going, well, this shouldn't happen. But I could see it happening in an alternate world. No one wants it to happen. So, yeah, I can kind of see them covering here. I would really feel better if Jones is in because it gives them a playmaker to dump off to. But, man, I don't know. DFS is going to be wacky because we really need this news on Jones and Elliott. Hopefully we get it sooner rather than later. Like Tyler said, Green Bay can't stop the run for dick. So I would love to get full force Pollard again because he'll just run all over this team. I'm just looking at running back Yeah, I would really emphasize like the like the running backs catching dump offs for Rodgers because this pass rush is going to be in their face. Like so, like who's ever in general, if it's just Dylan, man, 6,700, it's a tough matchup, but like he'll legit catch like 5 or 6 passes. So I don't mind that at all. Who else? Oh, I'm trying to find Tunyon's price because he cuts some short routes too. If he's cheap enough, I'll take a stab. 3,700, yeah. Tight end's usually shit, so I don't mind that. Been getting 4 or 5 targets a game. We'll be catching the dump offs. Yeah, a lot of news to monitor here.
Let's move on to tonight. To Sunday night, and then we're going to move into some NBA, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Hit that thumbs up. We're talking touchdowns. The Los Angeles Chargers are a touchdown underdog to the San Francisco 49ers. Total of 45.5. Primetime unders are almost a blind bet at this point. They're like the old long teasers. Just bet the unders. In primetime, we got there again last night, Tyler. We both like the under. And, hey, I was thinking the only reason anyone would be watching the end of that ridiculous game is if they did bet the total. I don't like laying a touchdown in primetime. But how do you take the Chargers here, Tyler? What do you think?
Give me San Fran here. Tease them down to 1 to be more comfortable. That's my best bet here with them. But how do the Chargers stop this run attack of Debo, CMC, Elijah Mitchell should be back? Like, they're going to run the ball down this team's throat spread, and there ain't nothing they're going to be able to do about it. CMC might score 3 touchdowns again here. Debo's back. So it's like, I just don't see how the Chargers win this game. Like, their pass rush will be all over Herbert also. And Keenan Allen's probably going to practice some this week and then not play because that's all he's done all year. There's really no other pass catchers there. Mike Williams also out. Josh Palmer's decent, but I don't think he can beat the 49ers. So give me -7. I'm just going to tease them down to the -1, and that's definitely my favorite with them.
What do you think, Kurt?
Look at me. All
right. You knew I was on a different window.
The Chargers are going to win this game.
Tell us why.
I think Keenan Allen comes back. He'll be limited. I think Herbert is going to get his mojo back this week. There are going to be points in this game. Chargers are going to score late and take this game.
All right.
I'll gladly take +7 as well.
I'm happy because I don't want to take every single favorite.
I think there's a chance Keenan Allen, if he doesn't play this game, I'd be concerned about the rest of the year, to be honest.
I don't think he's going to.
The way the report is he hasn't practiced all week, and it says Allen now has one more chance to return to practice ahead of Sunday night's game against the Niners. If he doesn't, they got to run the guys out there that they have. So you'll have that news by the end of today.
If Allen's out, are you taking that back, or are you just going to ride this?
I'll be more confident in the +7.
Okay. There you have it. Guys, we are talking touchdowns here, brought to you by Run Pure Sports. We started a little late, but we still got you the information in a timely manner. All we ask for is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we are going to give you the best bets. Tyler, let's start with you. What's your best bet for the day?
I'm going to go back to the Giants game. Give me the Giants -4.5. I think they smash them.
All right. Giants -4.5 for Tyler. Kurt, what do you have? Side total prop. What's your favorite bet for the weekend?
Go ahead and give yours. Let me think on this for a second.
All right. While Kurt's thinking, I get to once again have all of Tyler's neighbors love me, Tyler. I should be the most popular person in Pittsburgh. Let me get the Pittsburgh
I'll see you on the NBA show. I'm out of here.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Pittsburgh Steelers +1.5. And I'm going to go ahead and take them on the money line. I think they get it done against the States. I'm a big TJ Watt guy. And, hey, I got to go against the panel here because I want a victory lap or let you guys victory lap on me. That's a lot of fun. Kurt, any more thoughts? What's your best bet?
I was leaning on going Indy with the points or the Chargers, but I'm sticking to my bold call. I'm going Chargers +7.
All right. I love that you're taking some dogs here because we liked way too many favorites this week. A little concerning, but of course, like Otter said earlier, let's be selective. So, Tyler, thank you for joining us. Do you have any words of wisdom for the people before we switch over into NBA mode?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope the Steelers don't mess up their draft stock this week, but I do hope that they lose the game by 1 so you cash your best bet and they win.
Well, thank you. That's so kind.
We'll
All
both
right,
win
Kurt.
here, spread. They lose the game by 1. You win your bet. I keep the draft position. That's how we do it.
All right, Kurt, and the people in the chat want to know, what's your secret to success on Tinder and how can they replicate it?
So first of all, my pictures look good because, you look good, feel good to play good. Not always play good. But you just send hard eyes. You match and then you send hard eyes and you kind of let them initiate the conversation a little bit. Hard eyes is the way to go. It's subtle, easy, cliche, but it works for me. And then if that doesn't work, just send your dick pic.
There you have it. Thank you for joining us. Run Pure.